Recently, I've been doing a lot of digging into decentralized autonomous organizations, farming as a service, and projects in general that make investments into a number of different aspects in the crypto space, whether that's into meme coins, small cap cryptos, whether they invest into NFTs, and they take the profits they generate from these investments, help redistribute back to holders, help benefit holders of their project. In today's video, I want to talk about a project that you guys tagged me in on Twitter. You guys have seemed to really enjoy these videos as of lately, where you guys tagged me in a post on Twitter. I talk about that project and give you some of my thoughts on it. So today's video, I wanted to talk about the name of a meme coin, so Clifford Inu, but it's much more than that. It has a lot more use cases, and if you look at its fully diluted market cap, it's already at $46.7 million, so by no means is it small. So I want to talk a little bit about this project today, and make sure, as always, if you guys have another project that you want me to talk about, if you like these sort of videos, make sure to tag me on Twitter, any new projects, and also make sure to comment down below any other projects you guys would want me to talk about. So let's talk about Clifford Inu. So the way they brand themselves is a deflationary dog token that is ultra and hyper deflationary, where they have a bunch of different burn mechanisms in place. They've already burned close to $10 million worth of their token. The key things about this project that I really want to talk about today, after doing a bit of digging into it, is with regard to their use cases and how they set apart that sort of thing I talked about with decentralized autonomous organizations and farming as a service. So with Clifford Inu, the three things you need to realize is, first, with Clifford Inu, when you look at their white paper, the first and most important thing is their automatic burns. Right now, they label themselves as a hyper-deflationary token, and they have automatic true burns at a set time frame. So this is very important because every set time that they already have programmed into the contract, it burns a certain number of tokens. This makes all of the tokens that anyone holds more valuable. Second thing with burning is they also have manual burns when liquidity is oversaturated. So every single buy and sale of the token, there's more money added to liquidity. And when this becomes oversaturated, well, more of that is burned, taking out the total active supply forever. So that is very important. Burning with any sort of token always makes its holders more excited because it makes their tokens more valuable. And the interesting thing about burning is that you can see when you go to their dashboard, you just click on DApp right here, brings you to their dashboard. You can see exactly how much has been burned of their token. You can see right now it's up to $8.9 million worth of USD of their token has been burned. About 20%, 19.15% of the supply. So this is very, very interesting that they have this hyper deflationary, ultra, multiple mechanisms in place for burning. And I like how they have the dashboard so you can track everything. Second thing I want to talk about is their portfolio, because like I talked about with many of these projects now, one thing that sets Clifford Inu and a number of the projects we've talked about recently that you guys have been tagging me in is with how they take the investments. When you invest into Clifford Inu, they invest into a number of different projects, whether that's NFTs or small cap cryptos, to generate profits for the project, for holders. And what you can see with their portfolio is you can see what is in their portfolio. They have, obviously a lot of Clifford Inu, which makes sense, like 91% of it. You can see 91.43% of it is Clifford Inu, CLIFF token. But they also have USDT, wrapped UST, Ethereum name service, and they have a couple of other tokens as well, just like regular Ethereum and a couple of other things. So that is pretty cool. You can see very transparent in their investments. In addition to this, you also see that they invest into NFTs. You see their NFT wallet collection, a couple different pages. They have a Bored Ape Yacht Club. They have like a Bored Ape. They have a number of other ones as well. Very cool, like the transparency that you can see all of the different investments they have. So first thing is hyper deflationary. Second thing is how they take investments into their coin, use this to generate additional profits for their holders by investing into NFTs, small mid-cap cryptos, and help to increase the value of their token. Third thing I want to talk about with this project is going to be when you look at their white paper, you can see that they have one thing that is pretty cool in my opinion, which is an anti-whale feature contracted into its smart contract. With it, you can see that max wallets were restricted to 0.1% of the supply on the launch of Clifford Inu, and there is a 5% increase in fees to reduce any potential swing trading. So ultimately, what this does is it helps you know that there's not going to be a whale that's just going to dump all of the tokens, that it helps you know that automatically contracted into Clifford Inu's smart contract when it was first created, it prevents massive whales from dumping, from manipulating the price, and it really just makes it more of a community-based project. So this is very important in my opinion. So now let's talk about, so those are the three main things that I find most interesting about the project, but let's also talk about a lot of you guys always request this with security. So when you look at security, you can see that there are four main things for security for Clifford Inu. They have liquidity was burned right at launch, and right now we have about 20% of liquidity burned. You can track it on their dashboard. You just click right here. Second thing in terms of security is they also have that any new liquidity generated will go straight to a dead address, meaning no one can take any money out of that. Third thing is that Certificate has already audited the Clifford Inu contract, and they have that on their website, so you can check that out if you want. You just click Certificate. You can see security score of 81, passes basically everything. And then the fourth thing for security is going to be with hard-coded contract features to prevent abuse or rug pulls. Much of like what I said before, helps with preventing whale accounts, helps with limiting the tax increase, because that buy and sale tax, which we'll get into in a minute. But ultimately, all four of these things, not only do they have an audit, but they also have a couple of things contracted into the code that really prevent whale accounts, manipulation, and abuse. Last thing I want to talk about is going to be specifically with their tokenomics. So we've talked about how they make investments into NFTs and different cryptos. We've talked about how they have all these burn functions in place. They have the dashboard. But one important thing is with their tokenomics. That is that every single time someone buys Clifford Inu, 8% of every buy transaction is converted into liquidity. This helps create a more stable floor price. And if you look at the price of Clifford Inu on CoinMarketCap, you can see that it has had a pretty stable price while the rest of the market has been fluctuating tremendously. Yes, it is down a bit over the last couple of days, but that is really because the overall market has been taking a hit. But when you compare this to the overall market, it's really been much more stable considering the volatility of the market, and that is because of how much money is added to the liquidity every single time there's a buy or a sell of the token. So 8% every single time there's a buy transaction is converted into liquidity. 2% of every single buy transaction is set up for their marketing wallet so they can continue to grow the project, help with outreach over the coming months. Other aspect of tokenomics is going to be with sales tax. Every single time someone sells a token, it's a 15% of that transaction is converted into liquidity. Not only does this help create a more stable floor price for the token, but it also incentivizes people to keep the token, because 15% is quite a large amount. So it incentivizes people who buy into the project to stay there long term, and it ensures that people who own it really believe in it long term, because when buying this token, you know these taxes, you know the 8% buy tax, you know the 15% sale tax, you know that if you want to buy it, it is best to just hold it long term, because otherwise you'll get in a tough position with these high taxes. And then the other thing is with the sales tax, 5% is to marketing. So what you can see is that when you buy it, the taxes and these percentages are lower. Liquidity, amount goes to liquidity is lower. The amount that goes into marketing is lower when you buy it. When you sell it, the amount that goes to liquidity is higher. When you sell it, the amount that goes to marketing is higher. This just basically incentivizes people to hold it long term. So ultimately right now, when you look at what's going on with Clifford Inu, yes, it's a high risk, high reward token, but the way they set it up is they have so much money going to liquidity every single time someone buys it that it really helps to create a stable floor price for the token. And we could see that over the last couple of months. As of this moment, I don't personally own this project. I just wanted to do a bit of a deep dive into some aspects of it, what I find interesting about it, and why I think it does have some potential in the future because of that liquidity really creating a stable floor price. And the other thing I really like about it is with the investments they make. They show everything from the different tokens they're currently holding, how much money has been burned, to the NFTs they have. They show everything. So I like the transparency there as well. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on this project. I find it pretty interesting, but I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.